Recently, while I was tapping away, trying to get my Kubernetes lab up and running, video still in progress, I heard a loud pop, and poof, there went the power. Now, most of my stuff is on a UPS, and I've been playing with setting up network UPS tools, but I haven't gotten around to fully implementing it. After a few minutes, it became clear this was an actual outage, not just a blip, so I started shutting things down, said farewell to my 3D print that was about 20 hours in and was not going to be salvageable, and started shutting down servers and services. Now, nothing in my rack is particularly sensitive to a hard shutdown, at least not in my experience, well, except for one server. Nosferatu, my Unraid media server. I have been using Unraid going on 8 years, and while its features are fantastic, it's flexible and fairly easy to use with great community support, one of my biggest complaints is its reliance on USB drives. And over the years, I've had to replace and rebuild a number of these drives for whatever reason. And sure enough, before the array was done fully shutting down, my UPS died, and with it, my boot drive for Unraid. With Unraid's new licensing changes and focus on platform improvements, see my recent video for more information on that, link in the description, I hope that one of the things that comes down the pipeline will be support for a proper boot medium, preferably SSDs. Solid-state drives offer significantly improved performance, and more importantly, improved reliability over the currently supported install media for Unraid. Now, most of Unraid runs from RAM, and the importance of the improved performance will be negligible. However, having a fast boot SSD could open up some other options for caching in the future. Instead, what I want to focus on here is the reliability aspect. If we take a look at some of the competitors for Unraid, for example, TrueNAS, which does install to traditional SSDs or hard drives. For their platform, they recommend the use of SSDs with some of the enterprise features, such as high write endurance and power loss protection. Now again, there isn't tons of data being written to these Unraid boot drives, but knowing that the drive the install is on is an enterprise-grade SSD designed for a long, hard life in the data center would give me great comfort that the SSD will last at least that long in my much less demanding home lab. But the real key feature here for me is the power loss protection. Knowing that my SSDs would be able to ensure that their writes are completed and the data integrity is hopefully retained would be a huge benefit to the Unraid platform. In addition, other platforms support using ZFS as the file system for these boot disks. This means we could potentially run them in a ZFS mirror for even more resiliency against failures, meaning that if one drive failed, we would still be able to boot and replace the failed drive. If you look at eBay, some of these standard SATA SSDs that feature power loss protection are incredibly cheap. We don't need large drives here. So we're not talking about a major cost increase over the recommended Kingston SE9 drive that I'm currently using. I've been criticized for my opinions on Unraid's implementations of a few features before, in the forums and on Reddit, often being told that users don't want more security features or options that will complicate the platform, which is easy for beginners. I don't see using a traditional boot medium, at least as an option, as complicating the platform. All I'm saying is that the Unraid platform would benefit from an option like this to make their installs more resilient to hardware failures, against power outages, and relieve what seems to be a common point of failure. If this is perceived as a hot take, then I guess it is what it is. Well, luckily, after backing up the config and reinstalling Unraid on the drive, I'm up and running again. Not the biggest deal in the grand scheme of things, but I can't help but think that boot partition issues like this and so many other flash drive failures could be prevented if Unraid implements a wider array of boot media options. Here's hoping. Thanks for watching.